Hey there everyone. So welcome to another YouTube live here on the Altenew YouTube channel with me, Lilith. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in and then we can start creating and crafting today. So let's just wait a couple of minutes and then we can get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can find myself on my screen, which is always a good idea. Yay, I'm live, which is always something excellent to see. Okay. Hi Stacy, hi Xiomara, hi Cici. It's so fun to see some familiar faces, and it's been a really long time since I've done a YouTube live. So thank you so much for joining me here in my craft room. Hi Sue. Okay, so lots of familiar faces. I think you know the song. So do share this video while it is live, and the fun thing on YouTube is that there are many ways to share it. You can share it via email, on Facebook, on any other of your social medias. So do go ahead and share, and we will pick a lucky winner at the end of the show. The lovely Caitlin is going to be helping me today, and she's going to be behind the Altenew badge. So if you want to give her a little shout out and say hello, that will be fabulous as well. So as you can see, I'm already in a Christmassy mood. I have added a couple of little decorations to my craft room to make it nice and cozy for the upcoming holiday season. I haven't decorated this early in like ever, so I don't know if you have already decorated, but this is like really early for me. Okay, thank you for sharing, everyone. Okay, so today I thought it would be fun to make some holiday cards because I haven't made a lot this year. What I usually do is I print out a photo of me and my family, and that's our holiday card. But I thought it'd be nice just to create some really special cards for some special people because we won't be able to get together. So having some handmade cards is always a great idea. So I've pulled out two products. These are going to be the main products today. The first one is the Peace and Love stamp set, which is this one. It's very pretty and it's very Christmassy, and this one is great because you can make fun cards with it, but all these elements make great embellishments for a Christmas album if you want to make a Christmas album, or if you want to make ornaments for like a mini tree or even your tree. You can like make ornaments and even 3D ornaments with these. So this is a fabulous set and lots of different ways. So on this set you've got this lovely star, and it's got two inlays over here. Then you've got this lovely heart in the middle and a lovely snowflake, and this heart comes with this stamp as well. And you've also got the center heart here at the top, so you can create nice colored effects, and you've got three pretty sentiments as well. So there we go. So I'll be using this one for one card. So I have planned two, but maybe we'll make more. We'll just see how much time is left over. And then the second product I'm going to be using is the Weekend Doodles. Okay, so while I was pulling out this set, so it is a doodled set. We've got like hand drawn like leaf wreaths over here and some doodled flowers. So it doesn't look very holiday or Christmassy. Okay, but I thought these lovely wreaths do have kind of a Christmas feel to them, and once you add a couple of elements you can make them into holiday cards. So if you have a lot of supplies and you don't really want to buy anything extra, but you don't have Christmas supplies on hand, I do advise you to go and have a good rummage through all your supplies and just look at your stamps differently, and some of them you can transform them into more holiday themed cards, especially if you change up colors and things like that. And even you can even do that with your Christmas more Christmassy or holiday themed stamps. Sometimes just by swapping it in for like a spring kind color, it can become spring themed set. So there we go. For my sentiments, I didn't know if I wanted to use one of the sentiments on here, so I also pulled out the Happy Holidays stamp set over here, which has got lots of fun holiday wishes, and I really like these ones because they're very it's not like Merry Christmas, and it's very like season greetings. We do have Merry Christmas on there, but there are lots of variations. So if you want to create a whole variation of cards, you've got words like Happy Holidays or Happy New Year or warm wishes. So it's very, very general. And we here in Belgium, we do send out like cards out until the end of January, and you don't want to send anything out with maybe Happy Christmas on it, but think something like warm wishes or best wishes for the new year. That's something you can still use. So those are the stamp sets I'm going to be using. I've pulled out some ink colors as well. I'll walk you through those while we are live. And then I've also got my little mini die cut machine out. I've got some paper in place, some vellum too. I've also got some antique gold embossing powder, which is kind of staying on my table at the moment because I'm using it over and over and over again on lots of different kinds of projects. It's my favorite at the moment. I go through these phases. I wonder if you go through phases like these when you use like one product a lot for a couple of weeks and then you kind of switch it out for something else. That's usually what I do. I also have that with techniques. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop you down so that you can see my craft mat and we can start creating and crafting together. So I'm just going to have a look and see if there are any questions, but at the moment it seems to be okay. So I'm going to be big. I'm going to be swiveling around a bit. You're welcome, Jane. So that's my lovely ceiling disposition. There we go. Ooh, we might have to let me just see how this works. Yep, that's okay. And if I do this, you should see my craft mat. Yay! There we go. I'll pop it down. Let's just move this around a little bit. Hi, Barbara. Ooh, I've got lots of Christmas boxes here underneath, trying to hide gifts, so I'm kind of bumping into them. So there we go. Let's just try and clean this up just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, so let's start. Hi, Christine. What do I see as trends for 2021? Ooh, I'm really bad with trends. I'm not the best person to ask. I'm just going to try and move this up a little bit. There we go, more centered. That should be okay, I think. A trend, I think probably slimline cards. I've seen a lot of them like now, and I think that's going to be really big for next year. Probably embossing folders as well, or at least at Altenew. That's something I really like. Or if it's a trend for 2021, we will see. As for the themes, I don't know, maybe you guys have some ideas. So we're going to start crafting here. I'm going to start with the Peace, Love and Joy stamp set. Okay. And I'm just going to pull out 2 sheets of smooth cardstock. One's going to be my background and one is going to be for my stamped images. There we go. So let's just pop this out. This is such a pretty set. It's been a long time since I've worked with this set. So I have also got the dies here at the back. And if you open this up, so we have got a little trifold card in there. Silly me. So there we go. And you can see some examples inside. So that's what I love about these cards. And you also have the layering of the 2 stamps in the middle. But you do have other options with these as well. So let's go. So I'm going to start stamping, and first thing I'm going to do is some really simple stamping. I want to create a background. Usually what I do, and this is something I'm trying to change up a bit, is when I stamp my cards, I kind of keep the background blank or bland, just like white cardstock, and I might add a couple of splatters. So I thought it'd be nice just to kind of create more backgrounds when I'm stamping, but using the same stamp set, but doing it in a subtle way. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lovely snowflake over here. And if you can see, it's really, really pretty and detailed. It's got these lovely little heart shapes in there, and it makes it a little bit special. These are little details I love looking at. So it's not just a simple snowflake. It's got a little bit of extra to it. There we go. So I'm just going to pop this onto my stamping block. Okay. And I am going to just prep this with my eraser. Hi there, Isamar from Texas. Ooh. I wonder where you are, how the weather is at the moment. It's here, it's kind of gotten like really wintry, kind of a winter feel, like snow is coming. There we go. So I've prepped this with my rubber. I just use a very simple rubber. Quite often on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, people ask me, yeah, is this a special eraser or something? No, it's very, very simple. It's just one of those I buy for my kids at school, or sometimes even I buy like a big box of pencils and then I get a couple of erasers free. So those are the ones I use. Yes, blending would probably continue to be really big as well. Blending brushes. Ooh, Jane, sunny. I would love some sun here. Cold. Oh yeah, I think a lot of cold going in there. Oh, Sue, you like them? Yeah, they are fun to use. I really like them too for like the smaller blending projects. So for my background, I'm going to be using Arctic. So this is what this is the crisp ink. I don't know the name of the set. In the set we have Arctic, Caribbean Sky, Persian Blue, and Sapphire, but I'm going to be using Arctic. Yes, it does have a very Scandinavian vibe to it. Yeah, it does. It makes me think of those pretty ornaments, very simple traditional ornaments you would see on a Scandinavian tree. There we go. So I'm just going to ink this up with Arctic, and it's a very light ink. So it's going to create a really fun and beautiful background. So when I'm creating backgrounds, I kind of start over the page or over my card base, just because it gives a more cohesive look than just keeping everything into the center. And as you can see, the stamp is very, very subtle. I will hold it up a bit later on, but it's a very soft blue with almost a kind of a purpley lavender tint to it. There we go. So that's a second step. Yeah, Glacier Caves, that's it. That's the name of the set. You can see it's very subtle. You probably can't see it on the screen. I will hold it up afterwards. When I'm stamping backgrounds like this, I kind of mix the position, but I kind of keep it in diagonals so that I am working my way all over the page and that it's not just any kind of stamping. Okay, and now I'm just going to continue onto this side, but kind of working in the middle, so diagonal, but stay in the middle, just filling this in. There we go. And now I'm going to work my way down here, like this. I don't use this color as often, and I should, because it's really, really pretty. It's very, very subtle. There we go. Like so. I love doing these Facebook and YouTube lives because I usually pull out products I don't use a lot and then I rediscover them, which is really, really fun. And then I get lots of ideas again. There we go. Oh yeah, I might have some trembling hands today because I just had a cello lesson, and afterwards I have kind of the slight tremor in my hand because I had to kind of hold my bow and be very concentrated. There we go. I might just add a little bit of a just here, just to give that impression. I'm going to hold it up to the screen so that I hope you can see it a little bit better. but it's a very subtle and soft background. And if you wanted it, you could even stamp over it and give this kind of impression that we've got lots of snowflakes falling over each other. So there we go. But I'm going to keep it like this, very subtle. But this is a color I kind of forget to use, but I really love it. It has a very soft finish. There we go. So I'm just going to give this a little clean. If I can find my, oh, I'll just take a new one. Oh no, here it is. There we go. There we go. So give this a little clean, and then that's done. So I've got my background done. And now I'm going to work on one of these ornaments. And I really like the look of this star. I usually use hearts, so this time I'm going to go with a star. Yes, it is very wintry looking. Yeah, it has got this kind of wintry blue. So it's more of an icy blue than a nice like a springy or summery blue. It's very delicate. Okay, oh, this is not big enough. Oh, I might just use my stamping tool for this because I am stamping a fuller image here. So I'm going to be using my little Misty, but any stamping tool will do. So I've got a second piece of smooth cardstock. Here we go. And we have different options, and I will show you two options we can do with this one. We're going to go with kind of a very vibrant ornament for lots of drama, and then we're going to do another subtler look. So I'm going to pop this onto my page like this. It's a bit sticky, and I am just going to once again prep this stamp just to make sure, because it is a full image, we do want it to stamp nicely and have no purling on this image. There we go. And I thought it would be nice to use a very beautiful lush red, and I'm going to be using crimson for this. So let's ink this up and get started. What I do like about this stamp set, and especially these little ornaments, that they have got lots and lots of pretty details. There we go. So let's just close this and give this a good press. And if all goes well, we'll just need one stamping, and there we go, we have it all done. Really, really pretty. I'm gonna give this a good clean. Sometimes the reds will stain a little bit. I think reds are less than the pinks. I do get that impression. I'm going to use this stamp a little bit later on, so I'm just going to put it to one side. And as you can see, you can leave it as such. We've got these pretty little flowers and leaves on the inside. But we are going to add a little bit of fun detail just to make it a little bit extra special. So for the leaves, I'm going to add a bit of green. We're going with very traditional colors, and I am hesitating between Shadow Creek and Mountain Pine. And I think I might go with Mountain Pine because it's a really nice dark color. Let's just hope this works. Well, green and red always works. So for the leaves, you will need this image. This is why I'm using my stamping tool, because I'm really bad at lining up stamps with an acrylic block. The more I try to line it up, the more my eyes go blurry. So that's why I like using the Misty tool, because I can line it up nicely like this, and then all I have to do is close it, and then it shouldn't move or pop out of place. There we go. I'm not going to touch it anymore. There we go. Just pop it down. Once again, because this is a newer stamp, I'm just going to, well, it's an old stamp, but I haven't used it in a while. I'm just going to kind of prep this. Or I might do the rest of the set as well. There we go. So let's ink this up with our pretty Mountain Pine. There we go. Ooh, that's such a lovely color. Love that color. There we go. And voila. And look at how pretty that looks. Instantly gives some extra detail. And now we can add a little flowers. So I'm having a little think of which color I could use for the flowers. I really wanted to do kind of a gold. So let's just try that. Let's just see how that looks. So once again, I'm just going to pop those on there, line them up. These are very simple to line up because we've got 4 flowers at the top and then 2 at the bottom. Oop, there we go. And I'm going to use some gold, and I think it would be nice just to use some pigment ink, Ultimate Metallic Gold, Antique Gold once again. Oh, you haven't, Christine? Yeah, so good. I'm happy I'm showing it today. There we go. So I'm just inking that up. Now when you use these pigment inks, when you are like adding the color to your stamp, don't press too hard because these are really juicy and really soft, the ink pads, and you might kind of, if you press it too hard, you'll get ink all over your stamp, and you don't want that. So let's just pop this in there, give it a little press, and I might just add a second layer, okay, just to kind of layer the color up. There we go, and maybe another one. What you could also do is just use embossing powder and embossing ink and just add gold and make it sparkle just a little bit more. So let's give this a little clean. There we go. And there we have our first little ornament done. So here you can see a little ornament. I'm going to try and hold it up close. And there are so many possibilities. You can make them in lots of different colors, in blues, and you can make them double and then stick them together, punch a little hole in the top and make little ornaments, or make like 3D cards, or with little windows where they move around. So lots of options with this set. So that one is done, and I think I'm just going to work on my second option here. The way we've got the 2 options done. So I'm just going to flip over my card and work on the other side. There we go. So once again, I'm going to stamp this. So my star image, we could do the heart. Oh, let's do the heart just to change things up a little bit. The way you can see both of the images. There we go. Let's just do our little heart here. So let's pop it on there. There we go. Oops. So once again, I'm just going to prep this. There we go. And I am going to use just a little bit of my anti-static powder. Just add that over here because I'm going to be using some embossing ink. So this is the embossing ink from Altenew. I just re-inked mine today. Make sure it's nice and sticky. I'm just going to pop that over there and then just give it a good... Yes, it does, doesn't it, Sue? Well, mine aren't this pretty. There we go. So I've stamped my embossing ink onto there. And now I'm going to add my embossing powder, which is antique gold. And I do need some scrap paper, which I'm just going to pull out from the back here. There we go. And I'm just going to add a little bit of embossing powder to my pretty little heart over here. So let's just do that. There we go. Just give it a little tap. Maybe just a bit more here at the tip. There we go. And just with the embossing powder on there, it's already looking really, really, really pretty. There we go. Look at that. So pretty. So let's just pop all this powder back in its little container. There we go. Might use that a little bit later on. There we go. And now I'm going to heat set this with my heat gun. So I'm just going to take that. This is going to be a little bit noisy. So if you want to kind of lower the sound for a couple of minutes, please do. So there we go. It has heat set, and just look at how pretty that is. Nice and shiny, and still with quite a lot of detail. If you wanted to, you could color these in, but I'm just going to leave them as such. They are really, really pretty. There we go. So I've got my 2 ornaments. Let's just cut these out. These are really, really simple to cut out. You could even hand cut them. Maybe the heart would be a bit tricky because it's got scalloped edges, but the star can be easily cut out by hand if you do not have the dies. So here I've got the 2 dies which I need. You've also got a die for the snowflake. So you could also cut out your snowflake. Yes, it is magical every time when you kind of heat set embossing powder and it turns into something really pretty and shiny. There we go. So I'm just going to pop my die on and just secure everything with a little bit of tape. I don't know if this tape is going to hold. I might just take my purple one, which is a bit stickier, and there we go. So I'm going to cut this down because this won't fit in my mini. Let me just cut it out before. It's going to be a lot easier if I just cut this out into smaller strips so it will fit into my mini blossom. Okay, let's pop this back on here. Okay, the white one won't stick, so let's just use the purple. Oops. There we go. And that should do just fine. Mini blossom. And let's just, oops. There we go. And now we can just roll this through our little machine. I'm not using the metal shim because it's just a really... Oh! Yes, me too. That's the feeling I'm going through. I'm trying to like make it feel like Christmas every day because the rest is just feeling very horrible at the moment. So I'm doing this kind of hybrid teaching stuff with my students, and it's not, I mean, they're very brave and they're trying their best, but my kids are saying, oh, can you just please do like a video conference at 8:15 at usual hours, because then we can get up, because it's so hard to get up and motivate and work by ourselves. So I'm doing lots of video conferences with them, even if it's just to sit on the other side of the computer and just answer a couple of questions about exercises. But so the more I can make it feel like Christmas, the better. I've got Christmas nooks all over the house, little lights. There we go. So I've popped my heart onto there, and once again I'm just going to run this through the machine. Don't they, Xiomara? They look like Christmas cookies. I wish mine looked this good. There we go. Oh, this one moved a little bit. That's okay. There we go. So as you can see, you've got lots of options with this set. I'm going to use this lovely red one on my card, and I might keep the heart for a later occasion. So where's my background? Over here. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, I'm going to pop this in here like so, and I have, oh, I did have some, I have got some metallic thread. So I do like simple cards, but with lots of tiny details. So metallic thread is a fun little detail, and this one is really pretty. This one is enchanted gold. So Altenew has 3 types of metallic thread. Oh, we've got antique gold as well. I might just keep it with antique gold because that's what we used with the embossing powder. Okay, let's just keep this. I'm going to go with antique gold. So this is the enchanted gold, and this is the antique gold. Yes, it does have, you have so many options. Yeah, I will. I think this year, we usually don't do lots of gifts on Christmas because in Belgium we have St. Nicholas, and St. Nicholas is on the 6th of December. So it's this Sunday. and St. Nicholas brings the children gifts. So the children usually get their gifts on the 6th, and then my three of my 4 boys have birthdays on the 8th and the 10th. So they get like lots of presents on the 6th and on their birthdays. And so usually for Christmas, we do like, I give them like one, a piece of clothing, and I'm looking for my tape. That's why I'm trying to, don't know where I put my foam tape. It was here like a sec, oh, it's just in front of me, sorry. And so this year, because Christmas is a bit gloomy and we're not doing a big Christmas like dinner with other family members, we thought we'd just go a little bit wild and do some more Christmas gifts. And I am going to be making tags for all the gifts, and this would look lovely with the paper I have bought. So I'm definitely going to be making some tags with those. So I have cut out a bit of the antique gold little thread here, and I have got some foam tape like this. So let me just get out some foam tape. Okay, I'm going to cut this down a bit. So usually I just put like a little bit of tape like in the middle, like so, because let me just check if my image will cover this. That's, yep. Oh no, it's a bit big. Just cut this down a bit. So this one is okay. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Like so. Just pop it in like that. And then I'm going to pop my thread on top. Like so. So I'm just going to kind of stick it down in the middle, but have like some of the edges fall over. Doesn't look like anything special at the moment. And then I'm going to add the remaining foam tape onto my star, like so. Let's just keep this for another occasion. I'm just trying, not really centered. Come on. I'm trying to center this. So that's the center over there. This is good. This is looking okay. There we go. So very, very simple. And now all we have to do is add a little sentiment. So let's have a look at our sentiments. And here we've got peace, love, and joy. Oh, I love that. Very, very subtle, very delicate. I want to use that one. The peace, love, and joy. So I'm just going to pop this onto my acrylic block. And I'm using Altenew acrylic blocks. I love using Altenew acrylic blocks when adding my sentiments because I've got these lines on there. There we go. And that way I can line up the sentiment nice and straight. And I think I want, okay, let me just think, which color should I go for? Should I go with black? I want a kind of contrasting color, or maybe I could use the same green which I used before, so the mountain pine. Okay, let's just try this out. So I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper here. I'm just going to try out the green and just see how that looks, if it stands out enough. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use the green. It's dark enough. I'm going to go with that. There we go. And now, Lilith, please don't mess this up, because this is usually where I kind of mess things up. I'm going to stamp it here. I'm going to go like this. Ooh, that's pretty. It's very, very subtle. There we go. So that's my first card. And I love that soft snowflake in the background with a kind of Arctic color. It's really a soft gray with the blue tint to it. It's very wintry. Okay, so that's our first card using a stamp set which is very holiday related. So there we go. I really, really like this card. It's got all the colors I love. And oh, you no need to be sorry, Nancy. There we go. I've just finished the first card using the Peace, Love, and where did I put my heart? The Peace, Love, and Joy stamp set. So, okay, it's still in my stamping tool. There we go. I am going to pop this straight on there because I have a bad habit, which means I don't put away things. And then I have like dies lying around and I don't remember from which set they come. So I kind of try to put everything back together before working on a next project. I just found a die in one of my plants. I don't know how it got there, but yes, I found my die in one of my plants. So now I'm trying to really put everything away immediately. Okay, next card, which is going to be really fun as well, but a bit different. So this time I've got some watercolor cardstock. Okay. And I'm going to be using the Weekend Doodles stamp set, which is here. Now, you wouldn't think this is a holiday themed stamp set, but I do like the look of these wreaths. And so I thought it'd be fun to create a holiday card with this. I've got two ideas in mind. Let's just see if we can make both now. Thank you for sharing, Penny. So the first thing I'm going to do, there we go, is take out my stamp set. And I really love these leaf wreaths over here. So we've got two of them. One is a bit more detailed and the other one is just like a full image. I'll be using both. Okay. So the first card is very simple. Once again, ooh, maybe I should stop saying that. All my cards are simple. There we go. Let's just stick that on there. I'll just be using my stamping blocks for this one. Shouldn't be too complicated. There we go. So once again, it's been a long while since I've used these. Let's just give them a good rub-a-dub-dub. There we go. And I'm going to be using Shadow Creek and also the lovely Mountain Pine. So let's think. Okay, I'm going to be using Shadow Creek with the more detailed one. It's such a pretty color. And I'm just going to stamp that in the middle of my cardstock. So I'm stamping on watercolor cardstock because afterwards I'll be adding a couple of details, but you could add them with artist markers or any other kind of medium, but I wanted to use some watercolors afterwards. So let's just stamp that like approximately in the middle. I'm just going to give that a good press, leave it on a bit because I am stamping on watercolor paper. So it's not the same as smooth cardstock. There we go. Ooh, so pretty. That's the first one. And I wanted to do a kind of a layered look, like have like two sets of leaves over each other. Let's just try this out and hope it doesn't become a kind of a mess, because this already looks really pretty. I'm just going to see how that looks by just popping it over like so. Which should work. Let's just go with it. And if it doesn't, we'll just do something else. Okay. This is Mountain Pine, which is the darker shade. Yeah, it is a good stamp for any time of the year. And I'm just going to kind of stamp over the first image. There we go. Okay, let's just turn this around and go with the first idea. So I'm just going to take the first one again. If you don't try it, you'll never know. Okay. I'm just going to go with the darker shade Mountain Pine and just keep it with the detailed image. This is an older set, so it's not from one of our newer releases. It's not old, but there we go. Okay, let's just keep it with this one. So we're going to add a couple of details to make it a little bit more Christmassy. So once again, you could do this on smooth white cardstock and then just add some berries, for example, with artist markers. What am I saying? With our artist markers. There we go. But I wanted to add a little bit of watercolor. So I'm going to take out my watercolor palette here. This is, oh, and it's a bit icky and I haven't cleaned it up on the inside. It has been well loved. It's a very easy stamp to work with, okay? And I'm just going to take out my watercolor palette here, which I cleaned today. I'm very proud of myself. There we go. And I have got some water. My son, just before I went live, got me some water in my pretty little bowl. And I'm going to have a sip of tea. There we go. It is a fabulous stamp to work with, and I love leaves. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to make myself some red with the colors here. So I'm just going to add some water, kind of. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's the wrong color. So this one is very, very vibrant. I just want to darken it a little bit. These are pretty. These colors are so pretty. I love them. So I'm going to add a little bit. So the color I used here, let me just try and pull it out so I can see the name, is Crimson. Ooh, the color we used before. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of grapevine or rubellite. Let me just see. Okay, I'll probably just use a little bit of rubellite. It's a bit darker and it's a bit more pinky. It will just darken the shade a tiny bit, just to make it a little bit darker. So I think I like the look of that. I'm just going to test that on a piece of scrap paper. Yeah, that looks okay. Just add a bit more of my... Okay. So what I'm going to do, this color is, so I've got water in, but it's not too watery. So I'm just going to add a couple of, let me just pop this on, close this. Thank you for sharing, Bob. So I'm going to add a couple of berries here. So I'm going to be very loose. I'm just going to add a couple of berries. I'm going to work on top of that color, so it might, don't linger too long on the stamped images, because we are working with watercolors here, so it might just start dissolving the ink. So I'm just going to add a couple of berries, but you could use red sequins or enamel dots, whatever you want. I just love watercoloring, and it's very relaxing, and I've had a long day. This is just a lot of fun. So I'm just going to add a couple of these. There we go. And maybe another set over here. So nothing too complicated. I don't have any red sequins. I only have like gold. I'm really bad with all kind of embellishments. Like, I have lots of paper and cardboard stuff, but all the pretty bling bling I don't. There we go. So let's just put this to one side. So I've got my little berries on there, and I want to add some little bit of splatter. So what I'm going to do, once again, is I am going to use my mountain pine for this. So I'm just going to add some mountain pine onto my watercolor palette, and I'm going to add water to that, and this is going to give me some lovely green splatters. So let's just water this down a little bit more. Oops. Okay. And now I can just add, I'm going to cover my little berries because I don't want any splatters on those. There we go. There we go, done. Less is more. Up. I'll just keep that on there. Usually I keep my color on my palette, and even if it's dry, I kind of reactivate it for other projects so that nothing goes to waste. So here you can see I've got my little wreath with my tiny little berries. So very, very, very simple. And I'm going to add a sentiment now. So let's have a look at the sentiments. So there we go. I really like the sentiments on this set, but I don't know if they're going to be too big. So let's just have a look. So let's just see. Ooh, Merry and Bright would fit in really well. I'm just going to do it in black. Merry Christmas will work as well. Warm Wishes is a bit large. Happy New Year could be Happy Holidays. Merry and Bright. Season Greetings. I don't know. I like the Merry and Bright. Let's just go with that. Oh yes, Sue. I love adding splatters. There we go. Erin always does it on her cards, and I love when she adds splatters. So there we go. I'm going to use black for this. I'm going to go with my exceptionally crisp Obsidian Pigment ink. There we go. Bonjour Robin, fiston. My son has just popped in to say hello. So I'm just going to stamp this in black. Nothing more, nothing less. There we go. Just stamp it on top. So no layers, very, very simple. And this I really, really like. This is so pretty. Very simple. And just because we've got a bit of green and some little red dots, it makes it very, very holiday-like. There we go. So that's our second card, and maybe we can just squeeze in a third. What do you think? Shall we squeeze in a third card? Oh dear. So I'm trying to find my first card. It's over here. So I just had a look at the time. We've got like 10 minutes. I think we could make a quick card. There we go. So I'm going to put them somewhere where I don't mess them up, because that's kind of my forte as well. Okay, that's the paint. Pop that away as well. Otherwise I'm going to get my nice cream jumper all colorful. So we've used this one. We've had our this one. So maybe let's just use this one again and make it very classy. So I'm going to take a little piece of vellum. Okay, so here we've got some vellum, and I'm going to stamp the second wreath, which is on our Weekend Doodles set. I have lost the packaging of this, the Weekend Doodles. It's somewhere. Oh, it's over here. Silly me. There we go. So I'm going to use this second wreath over here. And I'm going to stamp that onto some vellum. Okay. So let's take our stamping block. I might just use my stamping tool for this because I'm going to be using embossing ink and powder. So just to make sure. There we go. That's exactly what I was going to do soon. So just kind of pop that on there. Give this a little rub, and I'm going to add some embossing ink to this one. Oh, I'm just going to put my Winnie the Pooh handkerchief on there. That way I know I have to add my anti-static powder. There we go. Oh, there's some green on there. That's okay. I'll just do this. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp. There we go. So I've got my stamp on there. You can see how it is nice and shiny from that embossing ink. And now I'm going to add my embossing powder. Once again, my favorite at the moment, it's Untitled. Okay, so pretty. Okay, so here the vellum I'm using is vellum from Altenew, and you can emboss on vellum. You just have to be very careful not to hold it like too long and too close. Take your time when you're heat setting it, and a little tip, heat set from the back. It's always a good idea to heat set from the back. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so as you can see, it's already very pretty, and now let the magic begin. Okay, let's start. So there we go. It does set a lot quicker than on paper just because the vellum is a lot thinner. And just look at how pretty that is. It's so pretty and dainty and lovely. So I'm going to cut this out with the coordinating die. There we go. Which is, I always forget which one it is. So let's just pull this off. Is it this one? Oop, there we go. Yeah, I got the one. Fits in perfectly. So let's just cut this. I'm going to take that's nothing. That's just an embossing block on the floor. Won't go far. So let's just kind of put this down. I'm going to need my larger tool, so I'm just going to get that from the back. There we go. It won't fit on screen. Sorry about that. Let's just put this through there. Don't know what has happened here. I think the kids played with it. I'm going to add another piece of tape. Okay, I just don't want this to move, so I'm adding tape to two sides. Okay, let's just thrill this through. Oh yes, me too, I love embossing. I've been doing it loads. Sorry about that. Everything just flew on the floor. So that's so me. This is the usual me. Everything's on the floor. Sorry about that. Real me. There we go. So I'm just going to gently pull this out. There we go. And look at that, how delicate and beautiful that is. There we go. It's really, really, really pretty. Okay, so I was thinking, what could we put that on that will make it look really nice? Just have a think. There is a really nice paper. So I'm going to use this paper. This is a fun paper from the Enjoy the Ride collection, and it's got this lovely kind of washed but a very dark green effect, and it's very pretty, and I think it's very holiday-like, and if you just pop it on there, it looks really, really pretty. So I'm going to cut this to a card size. So I'm just going to take my trimmer. There we go. So let's just cut this to the size we need. So there we go. Okay, and for what can we add as sentiment? Once again, I want to keep it very, very simple, but if we stamp on this, it will get lost. So I think if we stamp on this, we will have to stamp and emboss as well. Otherwise, it won't look nice. So my other stamping block is on the floor. I'm gonna walk around the table. Let's just use this. I'm gonna stamp it in the bottom here. There we go. So once again, I'm going to use my embossing ink, which is over here. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to place this like so. This is going to really help me line this up correctly. Silly me. Let's just pop this correctly. So. Sorry about that. 10:30, starting to get late. There we go. I'm just gonna go for it. Whoops. I didn't add embossing powder, my bad. Sorry, anti-static powder. Let's just hope all is well here. The powder. There we go. There we go, that's done. Okay, let's heat it as well. I'm just going to close this because I'm feeling very clumsy today. So I've got my Merry Christmas on there. That's done. Ooh, that's very classy. Gold splatter. Shall we add? That's a lot of gold. We add more gold splatter to that. I think it would be nice to add just another color. So I was maybe thinking, because it's a wreath, let's just pop a little bit of So I'm going to tie a little bit of gold thread around it. So this is antique gold thread, just to give it that illusion that it's hanging. Okay, like so. So I'm just going to glue this down first. So I'll be using just simple Altenew tape roller for this. Oh, and it's empty. Oh dear, let's just use something else. No, I don't like this one. Okay. There we go. So there we go. We're just going to glue this down, and then I'm going to stick this kind of to the back, just to give that impression that we've got. Okay, I'll use other tape later on. This is just going to be temporary, so it stays nice and put. Just some like so. So we've got a little wreath there hanging. And I thought it'd be nice just to add maybe a couple of enamel dots. I don't have many red ones. I don't have enough red ones. Silly me. I think these are too big. Dear oh dear. What other color could we use that would still be Christmassy? Let's just have a look here. Purple. I'm going to go all crazy. It's just because I like the purple against this. I'm going to add some purple berries. Silver. I don't have any silver dots. I'm going to add purple. I'm going to be unconventional all of the way. There we go. I'm going to add some over here. I'm going to try and create a little visual triangle. I'm going to use a larger one and two smaller ones, and I'm going to pop another one over here. Let's ask Altenew to make silver dots and gold dots and lots of different colored dots. Always comes in handy. There we go. Added in little berries. A bit different, but I like the color. There we go. And if you wanted to, you could always add some gold splatters. If you were to add gold splatters, I would suggest you use something like the metallic watercolors, because those are nice and opaque and you will get lovely splatters. So there we go, our 3 cards. Let's just take the 2 others down. There. Very different. So this one with a more classical Christmassy themed stamp set called Peace, Love and Joy. And then we have these 2 created with the Weekend Doodles, which is actually not a holiday themed stamp set at all, but as you can see, you can use it. And that's something I would really advise you to do, is have a good look at your supplies and see how you can make them fit the holiday season. So I'm just going to swivel you around again, and that way I can say goodbye and show my lovely tired face. Yeah, there we go. Voila. Whoops, let's just sit down a bit. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. You can see my cheeks are all red. It's so warm from crafting. That's what I do. It's because I've got my lights up and they're really warm, and then I get really warm and I get all rosy cheeks. There we go. So these are the cards I made today. These 2 with the Weekend Doodles. Okay, I really like this one. It's very simple. but it's so easy to do and it's very classical, and I love this kind of classical feel. I might just make loads of these because they're very simple to do and they'll all be a little bit different. So this one is one of my favorites from today. And then we've got this one with our lovely embossed vellum, and because I didn't have enough red dots, I popped in some purple ones, and I do like the look of those purple little berries onto that lovely green with that lovely finished washed look. And then I also added some thread just to give it the impression that it's hanging down like a wreath would. And then my other favorite from today is this card with that lovely subtle background created with the snowflake and Arctic stamp. Okay, Arctic ink. Okay, this is the Peace, Love and Joy stamp set. Then we created that lovely center star, which we added that lovely green in the middle and some antique pigment ink, with once again using some of our thread, which I think is a great way of adding some subtle detail, and then a very, very simple stamp, as you can see. So there we go, 3 simple cards from today. There we go. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't blabber away too much. It is in the evening, so sometimes my brain gets a bit like foggy and tired. Thank you so much for joining me. A huge shout out to all of you who have shared. We will announce a winner shortly once I have switched off the live, and I hope to see you very soon with either a Facebook live or a YouTube live. Have a lovely evening, have a lovely day wherever you are. A huge shout out to Kathleen, who has been helping me today and popping in all the links and answering maybe some of your questions. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye everyone.